How you guys doing? We are at Big Brother Canada Season 10, Episode 8. This was very interesting. As you know, as we left off, good old Kyle ended with Stephanie and Josh on the block. He's very excited, feeling himself. Oh, just doing whatever he can just to stay alive. Can't think of an idea to save himself. But this episode was interesting in the way people flip-flop back and forth. They're very indecisive. And I think it was mainly because they banked so much on all of those alliances that they didn't know how to restructure themselves. And Kyle just blew up so many alliances all at once that people were just lost. It was an interesting move he made. And you know what? Halfway through, I started to think, if it actually worked the way he wanted it to, it probably would have been a good move. It probably would have been a good move. But it didn't, unfortunately. We start off with Jacy Lynn crying because Josh is on the block. She's crying about Josh being on the block to Stephanie, who is on the block. And Stephanie was being understanding, trying to make her feel better. And I was 100% confused by why that happened. None of that made sense. Well, then Jess was having a little breakdown because Josh is on the block. Then here comes Summer. Summer is also fighting for Josh. Very upset that Josh is on the block. Summer was the main one that wanted to start an all-girls alliance. But I think she sort of gave up on that when she realized there was some girls that she couldn't trust. I think it was mainly because what is her name? Betty. Betty is so chaotic in the game. Betty was so chaotic in the game. Helena is indecisive. And so that single mom, the single mom was in an alliance that was separate from Summer. And yeah, she was just she knew too many secrets, and she was not very committed to any one plan. So the all girls alliance was never gonna go anywhere. But she tried it though. But she built a relationship with Josh. That's what I was saying. Josh is very dangerous. And that's why I started to think that if they planned work to get rid of Josh, it was actually going to be a good one, because Josh just somehow gathered up so many bottom feeders to the point where he had so much power without really saying much to the main people that he was working with in his own alliance. Which alliance that blew up, by the way. And then yeah, Moose was left on his own this one. No one was even concerned about where Moose was voting. Damn, Kyle really messed up his game. Because he had his hands in so many pots, and then Kyle did what he did, and then Moose was just floundering. Damn it, man. He was one of my favorites too. Just disappointing. This was hilarious. For some reason, Betty decided to confront Steve. Let me show you a little snapshot of that. It was Betty confronting Steve, thinking that Steve knew more than he let on, which he did, but he was never working with Betty. Betty was the same one that told him he was a horrible person. So why would he need to tell her anything? And it's just, she confronts him and said, I know you know more than you're letting on. And Steve decided to make a play to show that he's working with Betty. And he was like, I'm not going to let you know if I knew what was going on, but I'm going to tell you, I need you to keep acting like you hate me and keep going at me in order for plans to work. And he was trying to hint that he's willing to work with her. But she took it the wrong way. And she was like, I do hate you. And he was trying to be subtle while she was trying to be direct. And it just got down to the point where she was like, I know you're a snake and all this stuff, and you're just a horrible person. And he was like, okay, then I guess I'm coming after you now. She's like, why would you say that? Why would you say you're coming after me? It's like, well, you just said I'm a horrible person. And you're like, yeah, well, I do believe you're a horrible person. Well, you just said that you can't work with me and all. And it was the most confusing thing I've ever seen in the world, where she like threatened him essentially, and then was confused by why he would say he would come after her. It was like the two oddest people to even have a conversation, because they're like not even on the same wavelength. It's like they're having two different conversations at the same time. That was the most confusing thing I've ever seen in my life. And I don't even know why it was happening. They don't even need to talk. Betty is a non-factor in the game. And surprisingly, besides his bumbling and I don't even know why anyone talks to Steve. He thinks he's smarter than he is. He's awkward as hell. They keep telling him their secrets and confiding in him. I don't know why. And he's mostly just throwing out suspicions and throwing out who he thinks is working together to them, and when they think that's valuable. I don't know. It almost seems like they're setting him up to be like someone to persuade the jury. Like they're going to put him on the jury, and he's going to know their gameplay and be able to be an advocate for them. Because that's the only value I see in Steve, really. Because the moment he gets power, he's just going to shoot himself in the foot. I don't see him winning anything. And then, oh my God, the romance between Gino and Jacy Lynn, just so stupid. They kissed, and I guess that's a big deal. But for God's sakes, it's just so stupid. You had to play the game. What are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? The exact thing that he said he was not going to do, he's doing. The exact same thing that she said she wasn't going to do, she's doing. I just don't get it. He spends so little time actually talk. When he's with his allies, he says nothing. He says very little. He doesn't plan. He doesn't do anything. And the rest of the time, he's spending time with her. I think people just don't see him as a threat because he's just not doing much. He's not doing much to build his game. He's just, I don't know. But somehow he gets away with it. I think he's a lot smarter than he lets on. But he's taking very huge chances in the game, that the moment any other targets are removed and he becomes the biggest target, he has no way to slip out of it. They're going to be like, you have the showmans. You were in this alliance with these people. You haven't said anything. You haven't given me any assurances. Everything that he's doing now that he thinks he's getting away with, they're going to be able to use it against him. But I don't know. I guess that's in the future. He's not thinking about the game in the future. He's thinking about the game now, and he's crushing on this girl. I don't know. And there's Stephanie feeling good because so many people, mainly Kyle, is telling her that he has all these votes. There she is, feeling happy. She didn't even go around campaigning for herself. Other people were campaigning for her and telling her that they have all these votes that are gonna be for her to stay. She's just happy, just having fun, just chilling, just motivating herself and talking herself up, thinking about what kind of dress she's gonna wear during the eviction ceremony. Just, oh my God. Just some of these people, when they play this game, I just don't understand what they're doing. And then we have this moment here where Marty decided to come clean with Josh and tell him why he decided to talk to Kyle and put Josh up on the block. There you go. See, Marty, I don't know how he gets away with it. He's a straight shooter with people. And when he tells them the truth, they don't feel betrayed. He told Josh, and Josh was still willing to work with him. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he won safety based on Canada's vote, because people think he's a good, because they're thinking in their mind that if Canada thinks he's a good person, then he's someone that I want to work with. And I think they're just coasting on that rather than his own gameplay. But he's definitely one of my favorites to win, just based on how he was playing. But the way he chooses his allies is just terrible. It's just terrible. I would say Gino was one good ally to keep around. Kyle was not. Kyle was not a good ally. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but it's working. It's working for now, and no one is really targeting him. So that's good. I mean, they can't even target him this week, but no one seems to be targeting him in the future. And one of the things they keep mentioning is his age. He's the oldest person in the house, and they keep mentioning that. And I think because he's an old man, they see him as less of a threat. Just off the bat, just off the fact that he's an old man, and he actually, I think he has difficulty with speaking English, and he's more comfortable with French, and just that language barrier alone give him a lot of plausible deniability when it comes to social situations. So he gets a lot more graces when he talks to people, and they sort of like they're more direct with him because they don't think he's going to pick up on the subtleties of a conversation. So he gets away with a lot, and yeah, I think that works in his favor. They're just going through the numbers. Everyone is going back and forth. Kyle is confident in himself. He's even starting new alliances. He's starting new alliances, creating new names and signs to throw up. Well, he didn't create new alliances. He just reaffirming the alliance, the new alliance that he created, and he created a name for it and a hand sign to go with it. I don't know, man. This man is the most delusional human being I've seen on this show so far for this season. Betty's pretty delusional, but Kyle is deluded. Like, yeah, just absolutely devoid from reality. Just, he has no idea what he's doing or what he's even going on around him. I don't think he has any sort of social skills at all. He has no ability to read people. He would talk to people, and instead of looking at them for their expression, he would just look away and just talk to them while looking away. He doesn't even try to read them and see how they're responding to the things he's saying. He's just talking. And it's insane. And he's convincing himself these conversations are going well, and they're not. I don't understand what's going on. He's just so calm and relaxed about this absolute mess that he's created. All right, they go to the eviction. Everyone's feeling confident. Josh is not so confident. He doesn't know what's going on. As you can see, he's dressing more and more colorful since Jay left. Just, I don't know, his whole character has changed, and the way he's interacting with people has changed. And like, if you remember the first couple episodes, I was like, yeah, Josh is that dude. But now I don't know what's going on with him. His character has changed so much. I don't have much confidence in him anymore. They go to the vote, and it came down to, what was it? A 9-2 split. 9 people voted to evict Stephanie. And the 2 people who voted to get rid of Josh, Gino and Jacy Lynn. Yep, those 2 lovers, the only 2. And they weren't even part of the plan to even put up Josh. So now everyone knows that Kyle is absolutely screwed. And now Kyle knows that all those conversations and all that stuff that he made up in his head is not happening. But he's very calm considering what just happened. Yeah. And there's Stephanie walking out the house. Yes. Yes, sir. You know what? What I appreciate about this game, just this season, is the people that they're eliminating so far aren't big competitors. They aren't big competitors. They aren't big threats. I like that. That means there'll be less floaters in the later parts of the game, and it's going to be a real, actual competition. It's going to be real tension. It's going to be real, you know what I mean? People are really going to be gunning for it. Because when you get too many floaters, everyone has an obvious target. They're going to all just point at that person and be like, oh, that person is going to be a threat. So I like that part of the game. And plus, with so many ladies getting evicted right away, they're not going to do that whole girl versus guys dynamic. As soon as you eliminate a couple of girls, the guys are just going to gun for each other. They're not even going to concentrate on the ladies anymore. But if there were too many ladies left in the game, they will feel that threat, and they would band together and try to, get rid of them. So she's eliminated, and we get to the HOH competition. See that? That's everyone competing for HOH. And surprisingly, in this one, Betty did actually very well in the competition. I think that's the first competition she did well in, even though she was nervous the whole time. She just terrible under pressure, but she did very well in this competition. It was a trivia kind of thing. They had to remember. It was like, I don't know, some kind of boot with a bunch of different items in it with price tags on it, and they have to remember them. They had to remember them, and then they were just asked a bunch of questions about them. Was the price higher or lower than this and that? And they have to sort of just step up to the top, which says higher, the middle, or the bottom that says lower, and their names in the middle. So it's just like 3 steps, and one says higher on the top, their name in the middle, and the bottom is lower. So they have to step in the direction where they think the answer is. The first one to get eliminated was Herman. He was the only one that answered the first question as higher when the answer was lower. And yeah, he was very disappointed by that, because he was talking big stuff about how he's going to go after Josh, because he was like, I'm going to gun for this HOH, and I'm going to go after Josh. Eliminated right away. but it came down to the wire, and there was like, I think there was like 4 people left. 4 people left. It was Gino, Betty, Moose, and Marty. And they answered all questions correct. So it came down to a tiebreaker where they had to answer a question. It was say how many seconds was in the surf up competition. And I think that competition went on for like an hour or something like that. Yeah, and in the end, our new HOH is Gino. I love that, because finally he's gonna have to make some goddamn moves and stop with the silent treatment and just focusing all on this romance with this chick. Make some moves, Gino, for the love of God. And don't, oh my God, I already know it. I don't even know why I was about to say it, but she's gonna influence his decisions a lot. I already know it. Wait, you know what? I'm thinking less of Gino. I should give him more credit than that, because there were moments where he didn't let his relationship with her influence his decisions. And I got to give him more credit. Hopefully he doesn't disappoint me. Hopefully he actually, makes a move. So we're going to see what the next episode brings. I'm actually excited for it. Let's see what happens. Until the next one.